In this life, you have got to learn how to take an L and move on. Welcome back to another episode of Diary of a Black Woman. Today, we're talking about learning how to take an L. This is very important in our kind of Diary of a Black Woman going to university, because if you don't learn how to take an L, baby, I don't know how you're going to survive university, because things do not always go the way that we plan to. Things do not always work out the way that we want them to. Like, you can plan as much as you want, but trust me, it's not always going to work out the way that you want it to. So you need to learn how to take an L, and take an L fastly at that point, because you can take an L, but it may take you a long time. But no, you got to learn how to speed that up and move on, because at the end of the day, the world keeps on moving on. Like, life is not going to stay still because you are going through something, because something didn't go the way that you want it to. Like, no, you gotta release yourself from that and move on. So obviously we're going to split into 3 parts. Get over it, learn from your mistakes, and create a new plan, because I like to keep it real simple, real quick. So make sure that you subscribe, because over here we just all fun and vibes, and I have so much unique content. I'm so excited for university. And yeah, follow my Instagram. It's not Snapchat, TikTok. Hell no, I'm not using Snapchat. And let's get right into the video. Okay, so after something's happened to you, after something hasn't gone your way, or like you didn't really get to experience something that you wanted to experience, a relationship ended, it is so easy to stay stuck in that whole situation and just mourn and be depressed and just have so much anxiety about it. And I've definitely experienced that. And I'm going to give you an example. I was supposed to go to KCL. Am I going to KCL? No. And you know what? I could have stayed and been really depressed about the fact that I missed my phone. But you know what I did? I took my L. I cried. You can cry about it, but don't cry for too long. Don't let yourself be depressed for too long. Like, you can mourn it, but don't stay there for too long. And as soon as I freaking cried those tears, I you know what I did? I rang up clearing and I got my life sorted. And you know what? It made me feel so much better, because you can wallow in little self-pity and be like, well, this just didn't work out for me, and I don't know why he doesn't want me, and I just. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change anything about the situation. You need to get over it, accept it, and move on. I don't care if it was your dream, if you thought that person was the person you were supposed to marry, it doesn't matter. You gotta move on, because if you continue to wallow, good things will not come into your life, because you're still stuck on the bad, on the thing what left you. And I literally talked about this in one of my first videos, so go watch that and learn how to let go. We're not gonna go too deep into that, but get over it. Move on. It's not yours no more. You gotta be able to release yourself from that hold on it. Like, literally, Frank Ocean says, I let go. What was it again? He said something about letting go and grip. You know what Frank Ocean be talking about. But you gotta let go, because honestly, the first part of like healing and being able to take an L and moving on from situations and things is being able to say, you know what, it didn't go the way that I thought it would, but you know what, I'm gonna let go and I'm gonna put it in God's hand, because if I deal with it, I'm gonna kill somebody. Well, maybe not that, but I'm just passionate. And this goes on to me saying, stop trying to understand the situation, or why it didn't go work out, or why it didn't go the way that you wanted to, because you may get understanding from it, but it doesn't change the situation. Like, this is so true, especially in relationships. When you're holding on to someone, you're just trying to understand, like, why do they not want me? Like, why is this not working out? Trust me, you could understand that person as much, but it still doesn't change the situation. And I've been having to tell myself that, because I'm one of those people, I just love analyzing people, understanding people, like figuring out what the hell is wrong with people. But at the end of the day, I realized this is not serving me. Like, I can gain all the understanding, and honestly, it can low-key torture you by understanding too much about people, because you understand that now, but now you feel like, oh, well, I shouldn't feel this pain, because you understand why it is. But I think that's why sometimes we have to separate understanding and not saying, I understand you, but I'm walking away, I'm taking my L, it didn't work out, that's okay. Stop trying to understand everything. It's not worth it. I know. You love understanding. You love analyzing people. That's low-key creepy. We're gonna move on from that. It goes just on to stop romanticizing it. Stop romanticizing it. If it didn't work out, if you didn't get it, stop romanticizing it. You don't have it. It's not in your hands anymore. So stop romanticizing it. Trust me, when you allow yourself to stop romanticizing and start searching and understanding, better things will come your way. It may take time, but better things will come your way, because you've decided to let go of what didn't work out, and you decided to let new things and good things. Because I'm telling you, better things are always on the way. Don't ever think just because you missed out on an opportunity, a relationship, that is the best it's going to be, that you're never going to be able to get something like that again. No, you will be able to. Like, you have to remember, you can still have the life that you want. It just may not look like exactly how you wanted it to be. Like, just because it didn't go exactly the way you want it to doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. And I found someone, and you know what I feel on my chest about this? Like, not getting to KCL, I was thinking, like, damn, like, this is not going the way that I wanted to. But then I realized it can still go the way I want it to be. It's just in a different location. It may not, the journey may not look like what you thought it would be, but as long as you get to the end destination, does it really matter? It doesn't. Going on to part two, learn from your mistakes, because I think one of the best things about life is that you can literally always learn from your mistakes. It's never truly your loss, it's never truly your L if you're able to learn from that mistake and do better by yourself. I'm constantly trying to do better by myself, because at the end of the day, certain things, yes, have happened to me, but being able to learn from that and being able to go from that is one of the best things that you can do for yourself, because you can say, you know what, I'm going to take the situation, I'm going to make it out for my good at the end of the day, because this is my life, and you can do whatever you want with what your life. So you need to learn from your mistakes. Obviously, after like missing out on an opportunity, relationship, whatever it is that you're trying to move on from, I want you to ask yourself, what did you learn from that? What did you learn from that? And I'm gonna bring KCL back into this. I learned that not me getting to KCL is that honestly, I was too distracted in sixth form. Don't get me wrong, I worked hard, but I was too distracted. So now I'm thinking, okay, how am I gonna now change that? So when I go into university, I don't make the same mistakes. So now I'm gonna be more organized. I'm gonna be more focused on my studies and what I'm trying to do. There's always a lesson in it. Yes, I didn't get into KCL. I was a bit distracted. I was a bit in a depressive episode. But now I've learned from the mistakes, and I'm gonna take that into university, and I'm not gonna make the same mistakes again. Then after you figure out what you learned from the situation, I want you to take that, and I want you to think about how you're gonna amplify that to what you're doing right now in your life, because you can like take all the lessons that you want, but if you're not going to apply that to what you're doing right now, it doesn't mean a damn thing. So I want you to, whatever that lesson is, take that and amplify it to your own lesson. With me, for Kings, I learned, you know what, I was a little bit too distracted. So you know what, I'm actually going to get very serious on planning and making sure I'm on top of things with Newcastle, because I'm not making the same mistakes again. No thank you, no ma'am, no pound. And also, just don't beat yourself up about it. Like, you can don't beat yourself up about it. Like, yeah, things do not go the way that you plan it is, but don't beat yourself up about the mistakes that you make, because we all make mistakes. For literally human, we all make mistakes. Move on for it and embrace those mistakes, because that is what makes us who we are. And I literally said this in my last video, like, failure doesn't really exist, because you can either take that into a lesson and amplify it to a new life to get something better, or you literally, if you don't give up, then you can never really fail. So that's why I'd be like, failure ain't really a thing for me. I don't really think about fail like that. Now, part three, my favorite part is to create a new plan. Okay, so now you've gotten over it, you learned from your mistakes. Now we need to get to grafted, because you learned from it, you're over it. Now you gotta create a new plan, because we don't just wallow and do nothing over here. You gotta figure out, okay, so it didn't work out the way that I wanted to. What are we gonna do now? And this is why I want you to create a plan, because if you have a set goal and say it didn't quite work out the way, I want you to create a goal. I want you to create a plan on how you're still going to achieve it, because just because it didn't work out the way you wanted it to the first time doesn't mean you still can't do it. So you need to create a new plan. And I literally have done this for university. In my last video, I literally talked about how I literally have like a vision of like everything I want for my life, and I went in detail. And I literally went back and I looked at that, and I was like, okay, how can I apply that to what I'm doing right now? Like, what is the plan that I can create for myself so that I can still achieve everything that I want out of my life? Because you can still achieve everything that you want out of life. Just because something didn't go the way that you wanted it to doesn't mean that it's not going to work out. Like, yeah, take it out and then create a new plan and figure out, how am I still going to be able to do this? How am I still going to get to the goal that I want? If it's a relationship, okay, the relationship didn't work out. What is it that I need to learn from that next time? What is it that I'm going to do about it so that I don't end up in the same situation? You can literally design your entire life. And people make it out to be so hard. It isn't hard. What's hard is actually just making the start. It's just starting and just making the change to be like, you know what? It didn't work out the way wanted it to. I had to take it out, cry, make a couple of mistakes. But you know what? I'm still gonna get to where I need to go to. This season, you need to be able to pour into yourself and do not forget what you're trying to achieve. You need to be able to pick yourself up again, because you know what? Life is hard. Life is really hard, and especially at university, you're kind of on your own, and you need to learn how to pick yourself up again after you've fallen on your face. Because I've got a feeling that we're all going to fall on our face many times, and you just need to learn to get up as quickly as possible. Like, I remember when I was learning how to ride a bike, and my sister would be teaching me, like, I'd be sliding and falling off my bike, but you know what, I still got up, and the quicker you get up, the better that you learn and the better that you become. And by the way, this is all coming from someone who is constantly in depressive episodes, and it takes them a really long time to get out of certain situations and get out of being sad and depressed and wallowing. Like, it takes me a long time, but one of the things that I realized is the quicker that I get up, the easier it will be. Like, you cannot stay stuck, you cannot stay wallowing about the past or the things that didn't work out. And I feel that so much on my chest, especially just going into university and just knowing that so much stuff was going to happen to me. Like, you do not know all the stuff that's going to happen, but as long as you know to be able to take it now, to be able to move on and do better by yourself, I think it's still all going to be worth it. And I'm just really glad to be talking to you guys about this. I feel like I'm really loving this visual diary. And honestly, I do not know how this is going to go. Obviously, I've fallen a bit flat on my face of YouTube. I'm definitely trying to get back into it. And I would really love if you guys would just follow me on this journey, because you know what? One of the things I realized is that I don't want to ever give up on something that I was so passionate about. Like, don't ever give up on something that you're passionate about just because you failed once. Like, get the hell up. And that is what I'm doing. So this is why you should subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. So guys, welcome to another episode of Diary of a Black Woman, and I'll see you in the next one.